You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, June 9th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that. Make sure you're subscribed. If you have not subscribed, please do so. If you have, thank you. Tell a friend or 10 or 20 about what we're doing each and every day here in the Quad Cities. Every weekday off the air with Matt Randazzo. We're also live on X right now. We appreciate that as well. A lot of people view us on X, so thank you for doing that. And of course, the show available on all of your podcasting platforms each and every day as well. So check out the podcasting platforms and listen to the show as well. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Kind of a gloomy, chilly Monday here in the Quad Cities, especially for June, but a lot to get to. A big week, a busy week to get to here on the show, and then just in general. Exciting week for me. Coming up this weekend is the 11th annual Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Had a couple teams drop out recently, so 2 available openings for the outing. So one just happened this morning. So if you are interested in coming out and joining us, it's a great time. Highland Springs Golf Course, 1 p.m. shotgun start. Great food afterwards by Snoop. Plenty of familiar faces from around the world of sports as well. So stop out. Enjoy it. Have fun with us as well. GuyRandazzoGolf.com is where you can check all that out. You can also follow us on Facebook as well. Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. So get a team together. Join us. Get this thing filled back up again. 34 teams. Exciting. Fantastic, of course, as always. But a room for a couple more teams. So if interested, come on out and join us coming up this Saturday. A big show today as well. A fun way to start the week. Joining us in a matter of moments will be Iowa all-time leading scorer and all-time leading rebounder, Luka Garza. Luka just finished up his 4th season in the NBA. His first season where he played in the NBA for the entire time. Finished up a great run with the Timberwolves. So we'll catch up with Luka, talk to him about a bunch of stuff. Obviously, his time in the NBA, how he wants to continue to develop, what his offseason looks like, but we'll also talk to him about his alma mater. Obviously, Fran McCaffery no longer at Iowa. He's now at Penn, new coach at Iowa. A lot to get to. Luka Garza coming up in just a matter of moments. Now, last week on the Hawkeye Report podcast, my friend Tom Kakert and I did a really fun draft. We drafted the best players in the Fran McCaffery era at Iowa, which of course gave me the idea we should do that for the Illini as well. So coming up later in the show around 10:30, Ked Prince and Mike Cagley will join me, and we will do an Illini Brad Underwood Era draft. It'll be a lot of fun. I promise you that. There'll be arguing and all those kind of things. So we'll have fun with that coming up later on in the show, and a lot more to get to right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday. Some things from over the weekend. Congratulations to the Assumption girls soccer team. They do win a state championship, beating Denver on Saturday. We talked to them on Friday's show before that state championship match on Saturday. Super excited for those young ladies. The 12th in school history. That's a record as well. We'll catch up with Assumption, I think, later on this week as well. So congrats to them. If you missed the interview from Friday, a lot of fun with them. Go check it out on the YouTube channel or on Twitter or X as well. Also, congratulations to Sterling Newman baseball team. They bring home a 4th place state finish. So the last 3 years for the Comets, I believe 3rd place, 4th place, and 4th place at state. Congrats to Newman Baseball. A fantastic season. We talked to their head coach, Kenny Corner, on Thursday, I think, last week as well. Thursday or Friday, one of the two. So go check out that interview as well. A lot of fun stuff in that one as well. So a lot of things to get to throughout the show. We'll continue to chat about some local stuff as well. But what I want to do is start the show with a conversation with Iowa's all-time leading scorer and rebounder, the one and only Luka Garza. And we are joined now by a very familiar face, the one and only Luka Garza, in the training facility, I think, right now. Did you just get done with a workout?
Just got done with the workout, just finished up. I got my dad and one of my trainers, Jay Lou, here. So we just got some work in. Kind of the first day back into the off-season grind.
I was going to say, it's the off-season. You could give yourself a little bit of rest, right? Or no, you got to get back at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like, 10 days since I shot a basketball. So that's long for me since that Wednesday where we lost. So it's been too long so far. I was itching to get back, so I'm excited to get back to work and start preparing for next year and just kind of continuing to improve myself any way I can.
I love that. And we're going to talk about that in a second. I want to talk about this past season because it was your first season where you were only in the NBA and you played the most games you had in any season, and you got to do it with a pretty special basketball team. What was this past year like for Luka Garza if you can continue to develop and grow here in the NBA?
It was surreal. For me, I think every year I feel like I'm taking steps closer and closer to my goal, and that's to be a rotation player every night in the NBA. And, obviously I had to move through the G League and kind of graduate from that, I guess, this year not even going down once, which was an achievement for me, just, knowing I was there a lot my rookie year and even into my second year. So it was incredible. And then obviously, getting some opportunity at different points in the year, obviously at the beginning of the year with, preseason games and all this stuff, when I've gotten to a place where I've earned, more and more opportunity and I've learned so much from it. This year there was just countless lessons, memories, all these kind of things that I'm taking into this offseason to help me kind of improve. So the next time I'm in that spot, I can do it even better. I always want to take advantage of any opportunity that comes my way, whether it's 2 minutes at the end of the game, which, a lot of guys call garbage time or whatever it is. I take that as serious as I do, playing starters minutes or whatever it is. And so it was a lot of fun this year, and especially the run that we made in the playoffs, the way we turned it on at the end of the season, just when Julius got back from that injury, and just to see our team kind of bond together, grow closer, and you could see it translate on the court, and it was just a lot of fun to be a part of.
Luka, one thing I remember the most about your Iowa days was while the individual stats were always eye-popping, it was your competitiveness and your want to win as a team. What's it like being part of a team like that? Because we could talk about all the records and they're there, but you care about winning, I think, first and foremost. What is it like to be around a winning culture, especially these last 2 seasons up in Minnesota?
Yeah, 100%. That competitive nature is, my favorite part of the game, that raw competitive energy. And I feel like we have a locker room full of guys who all have that. Anthony Edwards kind of leads it for us. Just, he's one of the most competitive people I've been around. Just has this energy every single time he comes onto the court or plays any kind of game. He wants to win. And so, you combine that with guys like Mike Conley and Julius Randle and, Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels, even, obviously Rudy Gobert as well. It's just, we got a lot of winners in this locker room. And so it's really helped us, and, we're getting closer and closer. And I think, the more times that you could put yourself in that position to be, a couple games out of the finals, whatever it is, you give yourself a better chance at one season, walking away with the championship, which is obviously the goal of this group. And we've shown that, we are among the best in the NBA, and we're right there. We're itching to get back, even after this season ended. The 2 years in a row, we feel like, we were stopped short of what we could have done. And so that's going to continue to motivate us going into the off season and getting ready for next year and making sure the next time we're in that spot, hopefully third time's the charm, that we can get past and get the championship.
Luka, you just mentioned all those guys and all those names. And iron sharpens iron, and you play with and are around some of the best in the world every single day. Is there a guy that has kind of taken you under his shoulder or under his arm and kind of helped you, or who have you kind of gravitated to maybe in Minnesota to help your game and your career?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I think for me, Rudy Gobert has been just an incredible influence on me. Especially with how he takes care of his body and his routine and the way he eats and the way he sleeps, all this kind of stuff. And he's gotten me so locked into that that I feel like I'm maximizing my body and doing everything I can to keep myself at this level for as long as possible. And obviously he's in year 11 or 12 or whatever it is, and he's just been super durable, super impactful, and all that kind of stuff. So he was, since I got here, he's been a huge influence on me. And guys that I've seen, Nikhil and Naz Reid for me are two just really good, examples of what I'm trying to get to. When Nikhil got here from the trade with D'Angelo Russell, the first game he didn't play. He was kind of teetering in Utah in terms of in and out the rotation, and he got here and took advantage of every opportunity he got. We had a bunch of injuries towards the end of that year, and he started in the playoffs. He was doing all types of amazing stuff, and year after year, these last 2 years, he's had excellent years, and he's put himself in a position to get paid this summer. And so that's a perfect example. And then Naz Reid, when I first got here and they made the Cat trade, I think a lot of people forget this, but at the beginning of that season when we had Cat and Rudy for the first time, Naz was getting DNPs. Me and Naz were on the bench together, not getting in the game, which is mind-boggling. And some guys got hurt, whatever. He took advantage of opportunities, and he got paid, and now he's going to get paid again. It's just when you have those kind of examples in front of you, it's just a roadmap. It's the roadmap to where I want to be, and so I try to emulate, follow, and just learn as much as I can from the guys that are around me and their stories.
One more about your game up in Minnesota. What does this offseason look like? And I've seen your dad sent me videos. I've seen it. It's documented the kind of work you put in. And just before we started this, I talked about the definition and how in shape you are, and you just got done working out. I know you gave yourself a short break, but you really take the off season seriously, don't you? Because that's where basketball improvement can happen the most. What does your off season look like, and what grind are you ready to get part of right now?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the off season is probably my favorite part about the game. It's just that it's that moment where everyone's in the same spot, and it's who works harder over the season, over the off season, who commits more, who sacrifices more in terms of all of the benefits that the off season can give you. You can go travel, you can go do whatever it is, and who's going to commit to the grind and focus on working and come to the next season in a better spot than they were before. And that's always my goal after an off season, is just to make some sort of improvement. And I think now as I'm getting older, it's not these drastic transformations that I was always kind of making in college or in high school or whatever it is. It's more of these unique details, these fine-tuning things that can make a huge impact and a huge difference. And so this offseason is exciting for me. Just going into it, I feel like like you said, there's a lot of opportunities that I had this year that I can review, film-wise and stuff like that, to just kind of grow with them. And obviously I'm hoping to compete in Eurobasket this summer with the Bosnian national team. So that's another thing on my on my mind, just going into this offseason, is preparing for that and trying to compete at the highest level in the European Championships.
Luka Garza joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Luka, this is the first time I've gotten to speak to you since Fran McCaffery's dismissal, or departure, I guess, from the University of Iowa. What was your reaction when you learned the news of Fran leaving the University of Iowa?
Fran has been one of the most important people in my life. He's a lot of the reason that I'm here today in this locker room, playing in the NBA, and that I was able to achieve my dream. So him and his family mean a tremendous amount to me. So obviously I was very upset just for him. In my mind, I felt like he had done such a terrific job with the program since he got there, and I think it all speaks for itself in terms of how he was able to turn the direction I guess of the basketball program, and to see guys coming from a school that we were starting to get more guys in the pros, and obviously Keegan going number 4 and Chris being a first rounder. There was just an amazing amount success that he had there, winning a Big Ten title, and obviously just developing some of the guys I mentioned, and countless others. So for me, it was upsetting. You obviously always want to see your guy at the helm at your alma mater. You always want to be able to go back and sit in his office and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I know more now, since being in the NBA, that basketball is a business, and it's ran that way in colleges. Now with NIL and all that kind of stuff it's also kind of run like the NBA in terms of just a lot of business decisions and things of that nature. But I'm incredibly excited for him. Kind of just going back to his roots at the University of Pennsylvania. I was able to see him right before his the announcement. I was in Philly when we were playing the Sixers, so I got to see him, have food with him, just sit down and catch up and just talk about the good old days and stuff like that. So I'm excited for him in the future, and I'm excited for the Iowa program in its future. I'm a Hawkeye through and through, and I'm always going to be a fan. I'm always going to support, and I'm not going to have any type of animosity or anything like that. I wish the best for the program. I want to see Iowa winning national championships, and so I'm hoping to see success this year and in the years to come.
Fran was one of the first, I don't want to say only people, but one of the first coaches that believed in you. And I haven't heard a former player talk anything bad about Fran McCaffery in any way, shape, or form. He is a player's coach, and he still remains close with all his former guys. I know a lot of them. What is it about Fran that players, gravitate toward, and former players especially? There's never a bad word said from a former player about Fran McCaffery.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're his guy, you come and play for him. You sign up to play, at whatever school he's at. You're his guy. He's going to go to bat for you. He's going to protect you. He's going to do whatever he can to help you in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's why, you see all these guys that have that kind of relationship with him. And for me, like you mentioned, I've never had a coach believe in me. Like Coach Fran believed in me. The only person that it was similar to was my dad. And obviously, it was just incredible coming from him. And from the moments he first saw me, to obviously all the way through college. And I just, I was on Twitter after the firing, and I was just kind of like looking around at some of the tweets of people talking about him, and I think it was Doug Gottlieb had tweeted that after my freshman year. The last game we played Michigan in the Big Ten tournament, we lost, whatever. And, he was talking to Doug Gottlieb after the game, and he was like, that kid Garza, he can, this was Fran speaking, he was like, that kid Garza could lead the country in scoring. And just no one really viewed me in that light besides him. He texted me the year before, my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and he told me, he thought I was going to be Big Ten Player of the Year that year, and it happened. It came to fruition. He put that thought out for me to manifest it, and that kind of belief for me, changed my life. I've always been, a guy that sometimes struggles with self-doubt, as we all do, but he just helped me believe in myself at a whole different level, and I still call him to this day. I call him during the season this year. At a point where I was, kind of struggling, and even at, points of success as well. It's just always great to talk to him and hear his voice, it just reminds me a lot of good times. So that's my guy, will always be my guy, and I wish I'm going to be rooting for him, at the University of Pennsylvania, and he's going to create more relationships like that. That's the type of coach and person he is.
Luka, you mentioned you're a Hawkeye. Once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye, of course. You're the all-time leading scorer in Hawkeye history. What do you know about Ben McCollum? And is that something where you, if you haven't met him, you're eager to meet him and all those kind of things as well, to kind of establish a new relationship with the new head coach at your alma mater?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've heard only great things. I haven't gotten a chance to speak with him or anything like that. But I know he did amazing things. At I think it was the Division II level. I know I had a couple of friends who were thinking about transferring into different schools, and that was always a school they looked at because it was one that always competed for national titles. And so, no matter what level you are, if you're competing for national titles, you're doing something right. So, and obviously Drake this year was a lot of fun to watch. Just just seeing the way they battled in the tournament, but not only the tournament, just the whole season. So I'm definitely excited just to see, what the, program's going to look like in the years to come, and definitely going to be supporting and rooting for the Hawkeyes always.
Luka, I want to talk to you about your camps coming up here in just a second, but I want you to humor me for a second. Our good friend Tom Kakert, my friend Tom, I know you, Tom, very well. The other day, last week, on our podcast that we do for the Hawkeye Report, we drafted the Fran McCaffery era when it came to players. So he had the first pick, I had the next two, he had 3, 4. We did a snake draft. It was so much fun. I had a blast. And, of course, Tom won the coin toss. So he got the first pick, and he got you, which was frustrating. But I want to give you his 5, and I want to give you my 5. And I want you to – well, you're going to take the one that you're on. I understand that, obviously. But I want you to critique them or tell me what you think, if that's okay. So he's got Luka Garza leading the way, all-time leading scorer, all-time leading rebounder. Huge get for him. His next pick was Chris Murray. He's got Devin Marble, Peter Jock, and Tyler Cook as his starting 5. Thoughts on your starting 5 as you run out with those guys and shooters and all those kind of things?
I love it. It's a balanced 5. It's you got the athleticism from TC and just his ability to dominate the paint, and both me and him down there. I think it would have been so much fun. I got to play with him obviously as a freshman and sophomore, but just when I kind of made the jump my junior, senior year, I just can only imagine what it would have been like to have them there as well. And I know the damage we could have done, and the damage we did do when we were together. So that tandem works, and that would be a lot of fun. And obviously, Pete was one of the guys I really wanted to play with. Obviously, I was 1 year short, but just from watching him and even just being around him when I got to the University of Iowa, he was always a mentor and someone who just kind of pushed me in the right direction and motivated me. To get to his spot, where he was, obviously the guy at the time, when he was in school and all that kind of stuff. So for me, he was always someone I wanted to get the chance to compete with. So yeah, it would have been special to be with, Pete and compete with him. That would have been a lot of fun. And then obviously it's the same with Devin Marble and Chris. I think it was. The moment he stepped on campus, you knew Chris and both Keegan that just they were special, they were different, and I loved playing with Chris for the short time I did. But that's the same thing with TC, where at his level that he got to his junior year, and me during my kind of top years, that would have been a fun duo as well. But we got everything. We got size, we got athleticism, we obviously got the shooting.
Okay, let me tell you my team. Let me tell you my team first, okay? You're talking about how you're going to win this. Let me tell you my team, okay? Are you ready?
All right,
I go Keegan Murray, Aaron White, Jared Utoff, Weezy, and Matt Gatens. That's 6'6" to 6'9", 6'10", and they all can shoot the heck out of it. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, we probably crush you guys on the glass, but it's not bad for sure. Those guys are all really talented. We would have, that would be the type of team that if you guys got hot from 3, it would be tough to compete. But I think just the guys we have, I'm taking my 5. But,
yeah, well, and you're taking yourself too. Come on, Luka, you're always going better yourself. Last thing with that, and we went 8 deep or 9 deep, I think. And I won't tell you the whole teams. J-Bo was my first guy off the bench. Doesn't help with size, but I eventually got Owen Freeman to help with some size inside. But I think my thing is there was so much talent in Fran's era. Yeah. And when you look at some of them were like highly recruited guys you expected it from. But other guys were, you look at a lot of them, Aaron White, yourself, the Murrays, they weren't guys that just walked in expecting to go to the NBA. And the way that Fran, one, got talent, but developed it, I think it just said a lot for his era. When you looked at that draft, there were so many good players.
For sure. And I think, like you said, the development part of it, I don't think there's a guy you can, mention, especially with these guys that, came in and didn't end up superior, like so much better than they came in. There's so many guys that had that story that just like, what happened to that guy 1 year to the next, Keegan from his, freshman year going to, playing in a more limited role, and then coming in his sophomore year and being the best player in the country, and should have been Big Ten Player of the Year, and all of that kind of stuff. And there's so many stories. Chris, the same way, developing into his junior year. TC from when he first got here. I mean, all those guys. Aaron White, Jared Uthoff. I mean, there's just so many, and I think, I think the system that Coach McCaffery, the system we played in, I think that just gave room for everyone to just grow and learn and get better and improve your game. Just the freedom we had, it allowed you to think for yourself, allowed you to figure out what your game is, and all these kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot of coaches in the college game, especially, that kind of try to put players in a box, or let's come down, look at the whiteboard, run a play every single time down. And those kind of coaches, I feel like it's hard to really grow and learn and improve in a way without the freedom. And I think that was really special with what Fran gave us in terms of that freedom with the game. That it's hard not to improve when you play in a system like that. Absolutely.
Luka Garza joining us right now, and Luka, you're doing something again in June that you've done each and every. Is this year 4 of the Luka Garza Academy?
Yes, it is.
It's amazing. This year, I'm going to ramble off the dates, but I want to talk to you about it a little more, obviously. June 24th and 25th, you'll be in Urbandale. June 27th, you'll be in Sioux City. June 29th, you'll be in Okoboji. First off, who came up with the concept of it? Because there's some people, and you guys can't do anything small. I love that about yourself, your dad. It's not like we're just going to have a camp. We're going to have like a camp that rolls throughout the state of Iowa. Why is that important that you continue to come back to Iowa and give back the way you do in each and every year?
For me, it's something that, as soon as I started to do that first year, I just kind of fell in love with it in terms of, first, just the opportunity to come back to the state of Iowa and just be around, the people, friends, all of that kind of stuff. It just, it brings me to a really happy place. It reminds me of a lot of great times, and also kind of just, pushes me to kind of keep going. And it's just, I think it's just, for me, it's important to always kind of include that in the offseason, just, being able to get back there for at least a little bit. And then, obviously, for me, it's really refreshing just when you kind of see these kids at that moment where they're kind of falling in love with the game of basketball, or they're kind of deciding whether they're going to really buy into it. And you just see, kind of the wholesomeness of it and the beauty of the game itself. And for me, it's just kind of fun to be in that moment and help if I can. If they have fun in my camp and that pushes them to play more basketball or whatever it is, that's important for me. So it's really special, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun for me and my dad just to kind of be around these kids and kind of teach the game, and give them some things that they can take into when they're shooting on the basket by themselves. Maybe they do a drill or whatever it is that they learn from the camp. So I know as when I was a kid, these camps, these moments were so integral in my development and my finding my love for the game, and just kind of being around these guys that I looked up to, whether it was the University of Maryland camps or wherever I was going to camp at. And so I try to provide that unique one-on-one experience. I like to be super hands-on and have fun with the kids and play one-on-one, and I always talk about this, but the ego boost is important. When I'm dunking on these kids and blocking their shots, it helps me. It makes me feel better about myself. So I need that.
I love that, Luka. What I love about the camp, and I've been to it, seen it firsthand several times. Yes, they get the basketball side of things, but between your dad and yourself, they learn a lot of life lessons as well, and they're talked to in a life way, not just a basketball way as well. Can you touch on that? Because they're going to get the basketball side of things, obviously. They're going to get dunked on by Luka. He just mentioned it. He's going to dunk on you, but also going to learn some life lessons as well. And that's important to you guys, isn't it?
For sure. I think, one of the main messages is just, finding whatever that passion, that purpose that, that you can find in your life that drives you every single day, that makes you want to, that makes the hard work easy. For me, it's like everyone's always like, oh, you're working so hard, you do all this, why do you do it, how do you do it? I love it. It's fun for me. I wouldn't want to spend my time any other way. And so I think that's important just for all these kids to know that, you know, there's something out there for them, whatever it is. It's maybe basketball, maybe soccer, maybe, you know, poetry, maybe anything. You know, it's just finding that and putting your all into it and believing in yourself and working hard. And I think, you know, we try not to get too serious, but we also talk about, you know, just kind of, you know, some of the things that go along with, you know, basketball or whatever it is, just kind of with doubting yourself or whatever it is. It's just, you know, we kind of teach them to, or try to put the example of just what belief means and how important belief is, and belief in yourself, and through no matter what, and just finding that, because that's super important. I think some kids can just get strung away from things they love because, you know, someone says something and, you know, that hurts their feelings. They don't think they're good enough. And, you know, I was told I wouldn't play Division I basketball. I was told I wouldn't make the NBA. But, you know, I had this belief in myself, and I had the support of people around me that believed in me as well. And so that got me to where I am.
I love it. I love it. If people are looking to get signed up, we're going to put it all over our social media as well. But it's Luka Garza Academy.com. Urbandale, 24th and 25th. 27th, June 27th, Sioux City. And then Okoboji, June 29th. I'm going to continue to pressure you and your dad to get your butts back to the Quad Cities next year or the year after. I get everybody. You got to share the love. I get it. I understand it. The west side of the state. But you can get back to the Quad Cities eventually, right?
For sure. I'm going
to hold you to that.
Trying out some new spots this year with, you know, Sioux City and Okoboji, and we're excited about that. But,
yeah,
you know, we always try to make it around to everywhere and see as many Hawkeye fans and you know, people from the state of Iowa as we can.
Have you thought about making a reality show? Luka and Frank Garza travel Iowa. Like, I would watch it. I think you two traveling the state of Iowa would be much must-see TV, wouldn't it? More your dad? I mean, more your dad than you?
Someone might need to burn that. Someone might need to burn that footage, but you know, it's a lot of fun for us, and especially I think for him getting to see, you know, those kids and kind of, you know, teaching them a game and, you know, teaching them how to shoot sky hooks and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really rewarding for him as well. And you know, it's you know, it's a state, it's a place that means a lot to both of us. And you know, we experienced it differently, but you know, we feel the same love for it. And so it's always fun to get the chance to be able to do that with him. It's definitely a blessing, and you know, that's part of it too. It's a good, you know, it's good bonding with me and my dad.
I love it. Hey, tell your dad I said hello. He's a good human being. He's one of the best. And I appreciate your time as well. We'll get as many people out to the camp as possible. Get back to work, stay in shape, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you again here real soon. Appreciate you, Luka.
Will do. Sounds good. Appreciate you.
All right, that is Luka Garza, former Iowa Hawkeye, all-time leading scorer, all-time leading rebounder at the University of Iowa, joining us here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Make sure you get out to the camp, a fantastic camp that him and his dad and other people show up to too. As last year in the Quad Cities, Luka Garza was joined by Owen Freeman here. So you never know who will show up. And one year it was Connor and all those guys as well. So get out there and enjoy it. And great to see Luka having success at the next level in the NBA. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. Coming up, we'll be joined by Ked Prince and Mike Cagley from the Illini guys, because we mentioned the Iowa draft we had with the Fran McCaffery era. You can listen to that. Tom Caker and I did that on the Hawkeye Report podcast. We're going to do something very similar with the Brad Underwood era with Ked and Mike coming up right after the break, right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now, even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Saturday night, June 14th, the Steamwheelers face off against the Parade in an IFL battle that's going to rock the vibrant arena. And it's Digital Bobblehead Night, presented by XUSD Blockchain. All fans in attendance with an active MetaMask digital wallet will score a limited edition Steamwheelers NFT bobblehead, a one-of-a-kind collectible you can't get anywhere else. High-flying IFL action and digital collectibles? Now that's next-level game night. Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets.
The PGA Tour swings into the Quad Cities again this summer, and you don't want to miss it. The John Deere Classic brings golf, music, magic, and more to TPC Deer Run, July 2nd through the 6th. Wednesday, July 2nd is Youth Day, and ages 15 and under are free all week, making it perfect for the whole family. Stick around after the golf on the weekend for the concerts on the Course Series, featuring country superstar Dierks Bentley on Saturday, and Grammy Award-winning Zac Brown Band on Sunday. Come for the golf, stay for the party. Visit JohnDeereClassic.com to get your tickets before they sell out.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Last week, I got together with my good friend Tom Kakert at the Hawkeye Report, and we did for the Hawkeye Report podcast, we drafted the Fran McCaffery era. So we each took a pick, and Tom went 1, I went 2, 3, he went 4, and we drafted out Fran McCaffery players. It was a ton of fun. Go listen to that, the Hawkeye Report podcast. And it got me to thinking, boy, I want to do that with the Illini as well. So, of course, I called 2 of the ugliest people I know, also 2 of the best Illini people that I know, and Mike Cagley and the one and only, and thank God there's only one of you, Ked. I say that all the time. But, gentlemen, thanks for doing this with me.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having us.
Ked, what happens if I pick a better All-Illini team than you? Like, that's possible.
You're not going to. You won't. No, it's not. You won't. The only way it is possible is if the way the draft works, because there's no way you know more history by Illinois basketball than Mr. Kedric Prince and Mike Cagley.
I love it. No, you guys are obviously leaders in the clubhouse, all that kind of stuff. I do believe that for sure. But I did cover the team. I know everyone thinks, you'd be surprised. Kat, I tell you this all the time. There's a lot of Iowa fans that think I'm an Illini fan.
I don't know why they think that. You're a newscaster. You had to put it on, even though it was only for 25 seconds. It was better than nothing.
Yeah, no, I get. Oh, you know better than that, darn you. Hey,
Ouch.
and this weekend, coming up to my dad's golf outing is Illini football players as well. So we are as unbiased as can be. So it'll be a lot of fun as well. But yeah, no, I think it's kind of fun, and it's been a very talent-rich era. Did you guys do any homework? My question is, I've done homework. Did you guys do homework? Ken, you're so cocky. You guys are both so cocky. None at all.
No, the mistake's gonna be for me is if I draft a player that's already been drafted. But no, I know the history pretty good.
No, I'm good. I'm going to keep you honest and all that kind of stuff. I'm writing everything down as well. Mike,
just got brats off the grill.
You didn't
just
do
got
anything?
brats off the grill.
I love it.
No, this is Illinois basketball, man.
I know this is basically. You two probably know more about this subject than I know about my kids. So I have no problems that you guys will do just fine. Okay, we did do a spin thing that my kids showed me how to do before this, and you guys were here. Mike has the first pick. Ken has pick 2. I have pick 3, and then I'll get 4, and then we'll go back in the snake order. So with that, here are the rules. It's going to be our starting 5s. And then 1 guy off the bench. So we will draft 18 total players. We each get 6. And you do not have to follow the point 1, 2, 3, 4 point guard, shooting guard, small forward. If you want to, Mike's kind of cocky. He thinks he can do this by doing that as well. I appreciate that. So you can do that if you want as well. But we talked also beforehand, guys. I think there's 3 that are pretty obvious. And then it kind of just goes up into it gets interesting after that. So I'm done talking. Without further ado, Mike Cagley got the first pick in the Matt Randazzo All-Illini Brad Underwood team draft, if that makes any sense. So, Mike, without further ado, the first overall pick in the draft is?
Well, I have Io on my Mount Rushmore of Illinois basketball because he brought the team back. Terrence Shannon had arguably the best year in the history of the Illini. But if I'm taking somebody who brought Illinois back to being relevant and was a guy who, no matter what happened, had 20 and 10 every night at the college level, because we're talking college here, I am taking Kofi Coburn, number 1, and now I have 20 points and about 12 rebounds every night.
Ken, are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Yes, and thank you, Michael.
I'll let you take who you want.
Hold on. We're going to get to Kid in a second. I'm going to get to Kid in a second. But with that being said, my favorite story of Kofi, and Kofi's fantastic, and you're right, it's 20 and 10. My favorite story about Kofi is that we were in the pandemic, so we were doing our newscast from home, and he was a freshman. And Celia Palermo was doing the news that night. I knew she was, and I'm watching the Illini game at home, hanging out, and it just hit me. One of my kids giggled at his name, and it's 10:15, guys. And I said, oh, wait, I got to tell Celia. So I called Celia up. I'm like, Celia, have you done the Illini? We weren't at home. She was in the studio. But anyways, I'm like, have you done the Illini highlights yet? She's like, no, I'm about ready to go out there. I'm like, it's Coburn. And she said, oh, my God, thank you so much for calling me. I was 2 minutes away from going out there and making a complete idiot out of myself. I said, I thought that. So that was my favorite story about that. But no, Kofi is a fantastic pick. But Ken has this smile on his face. It's like it's Christmas at the Prince household. Go ahead, Ken. The floor is all yours.
I think arguably, not in the Brad Underwood era, I'm talking the last 25 years, the best player that ever played Illinois, one of the top 2 or 3 is Terrence Shannon Jr., without a doubt. Mike talked about 20 and 10. I'm talking 25 and 8, 30 and 4 or 5. This guy could have been the national player of the year with all the other things that happened to him. Terrence Shannon was a highlight reel. Everybody in the country knew how good he was, and he just got better and better. He's like fine wine. Without a doubt, Terrence Shannon.
I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised.
That's who I thought he was going to take.
I did too, because I know how much he loves him. But I'm surprised.
But I can't argue with the results.
I'm shocked that I have Io DeSumo sitting there for number 3 at me. I'm just.
You shouldn't be shocked. You shouldn't, because here's why.
Go ahead,
Matt. Sorry, Mike just gave you a really good answer about Kofi, because Brad Underwood said the same thing. You were getting 20 and 10 for him, even if he couldn't see the rim. You were going to get 20 and 10. He was one of the biggest basketball players to ever play basketball in the Big Ten. Terrence Shannon was a highlight reel. Terrence Shannon was a throwback to the 1989 team, and he was a one-man, 6'5", 6'6" version of D. Brown on the fast break. He was strong, and seriously, if it wasn't for Zach Edey, Terrence Shannon could have been the best player in college basketball. He would have been named that. No disrespect to Io. Io did really well for the University of Illinois, but I'm sorry, it's Terrence Shannon.
And I'll tell you.
Go ahead, Mike.
The big thing, the reason I didn't pick Terrence Shannon is because Io was a spectacular player, but the W's didn't come till Kofi got to campus. And that is why I am confident that any game that Illinois had with Kofi around, They didn't get beat by 40 when Kofi was around. They didn't get beat by 20 very often when Kofi was around. Kofi kept every game close. He has his limitations as a player, but to me, he's a throwback to those big centers of the 80s, the Patricks and the guys like that, the big guys who just dominated in the lane.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? If that went reversed, and let's say I had the first pick, and I picked Kofi, who would you have taken second if Kofi wasn't there?
As much as I love Io, he's still he is on my Mount Rushmore for Illinois basketball because he made Illinois cool again single-handedly. But I would have picked Terrence Shannon Jr.
So we are drafting the all Brad Underwood team here, and I appreciate that, but I will gladly take Io DeSumo, and I'm actually kind of happy I didn't have the number one pick because, guys, I'll be honest with you, if I was drafting number one, I was taking Io first. And the reason why for me, don't look at me like that, Cat Prince, is because I think he put Illinois basketball back on the map. I think he did. Like, that's the biggest, he brought them back to national relevance again and Big Ten relevance again. And I remember those, and it probably was because Iowa was really good at that time too, with Luka's teams and all those kind of things. And I remember the Joe Wieskamp dunk game in Iowa City, and then going back down to Illinois and losing down there, and then they were going to play before the pandemic down or they could have in Indianapolis. But I think he brought Illinois basketball back. That team kind of did, and that's why I always think that. And how many years he was there? He was there 3.
It was 3 years.
See, and that's why I think I get you. But I just think like those 3 years transformed and got Illinois basketball back to the upper echelon and the top of the Big Ten, and then they've been there since. So that was just the only reason I had him where I had him.
No, I understand, and I can't change your mind. It's your pick. I understand he came to Illinois when Illinois was at a bad time, but to coattail off Mike, Iowa was good, but they didn't become better until Kofi came. I mean, I'm sorry, they were then dominant. Iowa was different because he was a kid from Chicago, and he was clutch. He really was. But if you just look at sheer numbers and you look at how dominant he was, I mean, Kofi was dominant. Iowa was great. Don't get me wrong, but for years, and I'm showing my age, Kenny Battle was my favorite player of all time, and I'm gonna tell you, Terrence Shannon Jr. is a damn close second. That kid, I'm sorry, I just can't. I thought Mike was going to pick him, to be honest with you. I really was. That's why I did like this, because I was surprised he didn't do it either.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't pick one, so you were going to yell at me. But I think it all worked out great because everybody got their guy. Everybody's happy.
I mean, if you want to not take Io and Ked wants to pass on him, I'll happily take him.
Take him at 6. He ain't getting to 6, that's for sure. Okay, now Ked, we kind of talked. Like, I think the first 3 are obvious, and like not that the next 5, 6 aren't really good. But there's not a drop off, but I think those 3 were obvious. I'm trying to piss Ket off here with this pick. So I'm going to take Coleman Hawkins at number 4.
Why do you try to make me mad, dog? I mean, I don't understand. I mean,
Is that crazy to do?
No, I don't think you're trying to be. I don't think you're trying to get a better team than Mike and I. I mean, I'm not mad at you because you're just giving out free.
So that's too high.
Picks. No, that's great. Just keep it.
No, and I'm asking
I like
opinion.
Coleman. Yeah.
So do I. I mean, it's nothing. This is just a draft, and if you like him, I tell you. Nope, I'm not even going to say that.
No,
that's a good pick.
No, you're lying, and that's okay. The reason I did it is because you love Coleman Hawkins. You loved him. You called him the Magic Johnson. You said Magic Johnson was coming.
Man, I don't drink, but I must have been drinking that.
No fair quoting.
Listen.
You did.
I was wrong. You know what? I was wrong, but I'm going to tell you what. You go ahead and keep that pick because I got one better. Who's next?
Okay, you're next. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I got one. How about this one? Mike, I can't wait to see your reaction. My next pick is Marcus Domask.
That was who I was going to probably go with, but he only had 1 year.
He was first team All Big Ten.
Well, there's a lot of first team All Big Tens.
And 1 year under, okay, let's go back to Fran's year and how many first team All Big Tens was under Brad Underwood. Marcus Domask was a difference maker. When Terrence Shannon went out, he carried the load. And when they played together, that's why they were a final weight team. I mean, they were Marcus Domask to me. I'm sorry, man. He's one of Brad Underwood's best players, and he invented booty ball. He could shoot. He was just a difference maker, and he and Terrence Shannon played really well together. You knew what he was going to do, and you couldn't stop him. He was the one guy I hope that was available.
So you're also teaming him back up with Terrence, which is very intriguing and very good as well.
One of the best years of University of Illinois history. I think I know what I'm talking about just a little bit.
No,
Yes.
No, and I was, that's
I'm
actually,
sorry.
you know what? We took a quick break that nobody knows about, and I actually changed it during that and hoping to make you, I was going to go with Marcus Domas. I swear I was. So you get number 6. Mike, lay it on us.
No, I'm getting 2 in a row,
Yeah,
right?
you get 6 and
snaking
7.
it. Yeah. So I'm going to take one that Ked will be so happy he will high-five me for not making him take him. I'm going to take Yakachonis. Ked does not want any piece of 7 turnover, man.
Wasn't
And
taking
then
him
I'm
no matter
going
what
to,
pick I
though,
got.
I'm trying to build a team, right? So I need another guy who can also get the ball to Kofi. So I'm taking Trent Frazier.
Oh, he was my 6th man. It's a good pick, Mike.
So he was your 6th man.
Yes, for me,
Ked,
he would.
yes.
Oh yeah, he would have been. Trent was.
So he's down the list a little bit, or he would have been your.
Yeah, I'm picking him higher than obviously Ked would.
Yes,
but I need a guy. See, if I have Casper, if I've got Yakachonis on the team, I need some guy who can play defense at the guard. I need somebody who can also handle the ball. And now I've got 2 guys who can handle the ball. And if Yakachonis has an issue with the oopsies, we can just say, Trent, you take it. And Trent loves that 3-pointer coming off of a pick.
Yes, he does.
So Yakachonis can make that work.
All right, I get 2 in a row now too.
No, it'd be Ked.
No,
next,
Ked.
right?
Ked, then me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ked.
my next pick will be William Riley.
Dang it.
And sorry. And William is just, I'm just a bucket getter. Love. I know, man. I told you should have did your homework, man. You brought Cags and I own, man. We know our stuff. Will Riley is a guy, and just think, I mean, we talked about what Iowa did, and, Illinois is possibly going to have 2 guys that are one and done, difference makers. And another guy that's a sleeper for me, and Mike's not going to be surprised. I'm a huge Dane Danger fan, so Dane Danger will be the next guy for me.
Yeah, but you're not up
But
next.
you don't get two.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
we're
that
on the
too.
ends.
Oh, the end
No,
of it. That's
we're
my
on the
bad.
ends.
No.
Damn it!
no.
I gave him a cheat. I gave him one.
No, because I don't think I was going there. I don't think I was going there.
You were not going into the danger zone?
I wasn't going into the danger zone. Oh boy. Because I really am mad at myself for the Coleman Hawkins pick, because I don't think he's that good. I just did it to kind of piss Ken off, and it didn't work. It backfired on me. So I need to work on this. And Will Riley was going to be my next pick, because I honestly think Will Riley was the best Illinois basketball player last year. The most talented player on the team last year.
I'd agree with that. I'm sorry, I would.
And I think Kasparis got a lot of the – but when Will Riley was rolling, like, he was really, really, really good. And he was rolling a lot the second half of the season. Again, only one season, but I think that's okay. Okay, so I got 2 picks in a row.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Maybe I am going to the danger zone.
Samba Kane.
Okay.
Matic Vessel.
I'm going to take – I am going to go big, and I don't want – I'm going to go Georgie over Danger.
Okay. I like Georgie.
I'm failing the KED test right now. I just feel awful. And
He's
then
Danger. He's got his fingers crossed for Danger.
I should take it just because it's going to make him mad.
No, but I guarantee when we're done, I can't wait to see who the fans think has the best roster.
I'm going to get destroyed in that, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. All right, I'm going to go. I'm not going to take Danger. Guys, you're going to yell at me again, it's a guy I dislike as an Iowa fan, but DeMonte Williams, I'm taking right now.
He had a hell of a year his junior year.
And he got better. I took Connor McCaffery in the Fran McCaffery draft. He's a guy that shot it better, taught himself how to shoot, and he was a energy guy. That picture of Connor and DeMonte face to face will be iconic in the Iowa-Illinois rivalry for a long time. So I'm taking DeMonte Williams.
Hey, man, I got to be careful because I talk to these people. But are you just really giving us this draft or what? I mean, what the hell are you doing?
Well, who else?
Wait a minute,
Dane
hold on.
Danger? He played 1 year, and then he's gone to 3 different schools
Here, though,
since then.
will Ked draft
That's
Danger?
not-
I'm not certain Ked's going to pull the trigger on it.
The hell I'm not, because I know what else is out there. Yes, whose pick is it?
You're up.
You're up.
The zone. Danger's. I'm picking Dane Danger. I'm telling you. Okay, just and for all you people out there who want to just think, Ked, you're losing it. I look at the whole career. He was there for 2 years. Illinois won the Big Ten tournament 2 years ago. I'm asking both of you, if Dane Danger doesn't play, do they win that tournament? Hell no. Dane Danger is a really good basketball player. He wasn't what Illinois needed, but that on my roster, oh yes, I love him without a doubt.
All right. We are to Mike make one pick, and then I'm going to recap where everybody's team's at right now.
Okay. I'm picking, he's going to be playing power forward for me, Ivasic.
Good pick.
We are going to have a guy who can stretch it out for the 3-pointer. He can pass the ball, and we got Kofi in the middle. I win.
Okay, so we're going to regroup
That's
here.
your pick.
We got Mike has Kofi, Kasparis, where am I missing? Trent Frazier, and Tommy. Okay. Ked has Terrence Shannon. He's got Marcus Domask. God, my team does suck. Will Riley and Dane Danger are your 4. My team is Io, Coleman Hawkins, Georgie, and DeMonte Williams. I got some work to do.
It's still not a bad team.
I got some work to do. I got some work to do.
I still got another pick, right?
What's that? What'd you just say, Ken?
I said, but you're in third place, I think, just so you know.
No, I know that. I should be, right?
I'm going to pick a wild card now because I want a guy who can get hot. And I'm not going to talk about Plummer. I'm talking about Andres Feliz. We are going to bring him.
He was on my list.
Man, I have
he was
got
on my
two
list.
tough guard. I got Frazier, Feliz, and Yakachonis out there. Woo!
If Brad Underwood was watching this podcast, Mike Cagley just raked up a lot of points because if you ask Underwood, that is one of his favorite players of all time. Mike, that is a steal, man. Feliz was like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. He was just a tough kid.
Yes,
I remember the
was.
Iowa game when he grabbed his jersey. He was different. Can you imagine if he would have been there for 4 years? Mike, that's a hell of a pick, buddy.
I want Ked to be happy with me as he is with you right now. Like that's all I want. I just want
some better players, man.
I know.
Get some better players.
I understand. Hey, I don't want it to be handed to me. I want to earn it. All right, Ked, you're up at number 14 overall. So we'll do 18 total. This is going faster than I thought, but it's going good. I like it. Go ahead.
Now, I want the fans to understand this is not a popularity contest or a lipstick contest. It's the players and what they do on the court. So this
Tyler
next
Underwood?
You just lost a bunch of points from Coach Underwood. I'm going with Andre Cabello.
Whoa.
Andre, listen,
Beast
it's
or
not about
famine himself.
I feel like you opened the door for me.
Listen, how many schools he went to? That kid's good, man. Sorry. That kid is talented, and he could do all the things he wants at the grocery stores, at the gym, whatever he wants to do on the basketball court. That dude is a magician, and he is fun to watch.
I like it. I'm going to get all the way back into this and maybe pass up second place, get into second place. I'm going to make up a lot of ground.
Uh-oh.
Because I'm going to take the best player to play at Illinois that made it the best in the NBA. And I'm taking Pods right now.
Dang, that was going to be my last pick. I was going to take Pods last. But if
He's
we're
the
talking
best player
about what
who's
he
ever played
does
under
at
Brad
Illinois,
Underwood.
you've just tanked your team.
If I'm putting that team, well, he didn't get a chance. I'm not going to make Brad Underwood very happy now, but he didn't get a chance. So I'm going to take my team right now. We're going to throw the ball on the court, and I got the best player. That includes Terrence Shannon. I got the best player today.
So far.
You're basing it off NBA, and that's not what this is about. But I'll let you.
And I'm not certain that Io doesn't have a better career so far.
Yeah.
Thank you, amen, brother. Yeah.
Well,
it's okay to say that.
Well, hold on. Io is
what?
Hold on. Io's been a 6-man for a bad Bulls team. You're going to take that over a starter for the Golden State Warriors, who plays in the NBA playoffs.
I'll tell you what. If I put a
take
poll out
Steph
right
off
now,
that team, and is he going to the playoffs?
Better boy, Mike.
Sure. I'm just saying. I think resume-wise,
I'll be honest with you, Matt. I was gonna take him at my last pick. So
I wanted to do it to be a
it.
heel. I wanted to be the bad guy and make Illinois fans cranky a little bit. But he's the best. And the fact that he snuck out of there and didn't get a chance. And I remember Ked, because – and I don't know, Mike, this must surprise you a little bit, but Keg gets excited about recruits sometimes. You were excited about Pods when he came in.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I might. Yeah, you know what he had. You know,
Player of the year in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. That's not hard. Listen, just because I get excited, don't mean the kids don't pan out, because kids don't. There's football players and basketball players. There's tons of kids that flame out, and he was. I didn't say he flamed out because you used the words. He didn't get a chance under Brad Underwood, and to be honest, I look stupid for saying this. I kind of understand why, but I think he was in the right situation when he left Illinois. The way you guys both know this, and I know firsthand, when you go to a school, if it's the right fit and you are able to showcase what you can do, that's great. If he would have stayed in the Big Ten, I don't know if that would have happened for him. I can't say that, but I'm not mad. I'm happy for the kid, but I will tell you what, I wouldn't have picked him at all.
I think he could have played in the Big Ten. I just didn't think it was the right fit at Illinois, if that makes sense.
He would have played, but he wouldn't. If he would have played in the Big Ten, let me clarify that. He wouldn't have been a first-round draft pick for the Golden State Warriors. I just think he went to a school that was a good situation for him. I use another kid, and I don't know if this is going to happen. Illinois had a kid named Draymond Gibbs-Longhorn who just left to go to UNLV. I think that's a good fit for him. I think that kid's going to have an opportunity to go out there and showcase what he can do. So sometimes it's just the right fit at the right time and right place.
All right. Well, I got to go back and pick another one here real quick. I get a guy coming off my bench. Hold on. I'm doing my little writing down. Okay. Let me look here for a second. Maybe. I might as well go straight. Bad guy. I'm saying bad guy, but Mike knows what I'm talking about. I might go full heel. Here and go. Oh, you have to, because some of these guys transferred. There's a whole list of people that like you have to consider that transferred.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with, because all my little stud guys are gone. I'm going to go with, do I have enough shooting? I'm going to go with Quincy Guerriere.
Wow, you took two of the guys that I was considering for that last pick.
I always look to, I feel like I'm a young kid, and I'm looking to Ked. I looked at Ked for affirmation every time I make a pick, and he's just stone cold faced. He's like this.
Because I'm surprised, because there's some people out there, man, but I'm enjoying
it.
This
wait.
I'm not telling you.
I know. I'm done.
Well, he's done picking. You can tell him, kid.
Yeah, I'm done. No, don't go. No, because Mike's got to pick. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Quincy.
So do we both have this? So we both have just one pick left.
One pick left, and Mike gets to go first.
No. Ked goes, then me. Then I.
Yeah, you're right. Ked, then
because I started.
So yeah, Ked, you can say whatever you want.
My pick is LeRon Black.
Yep.
Matt's like, who is that?
No, I remember.
It's okay, Matt.
I remember. No, I remember.
LeRon Black.
But I don't. I didn't see him on any roster. I know exactly who it is.
It was Brad Underwood's first year, I believe.
Very first year.
First year he was there.
Well played.
There's one guy. I'm going to see if Mike picks him, but there's one guy I feel bad about leaving off the roster. I'm going to see if Mike picks this guy, but I feel bad if I want to throw his name out there just because. But anyway.
Well, all right. So I've got Frazier. I've got Feliz. I got Yakachonis. They can all shoot threes. Ivasic can shoot threes. Kofi's inside for the boards. I need one more guy to help him on the boards. And I'm going with a guy that I love that the Illini guys subscribers are going to be so mad at me for picking.
Say Morez.
But I'm taking Morez.
That's who I was going to
Now
take.
I got that's my sixth man, and with Morez, there you go. There's when you got him. If Kofi has to come out for a few minutes, we may not get a lot of scoring out of Morez, but at least you're not going to go down, and you've got all these guys who can shoot the three. And I'm going to unleash Morez from the three. Maybe he becomes the next big three threat.
You're the coach.
Mike, you're getting on Matt Randazzo status.
Easy. No, and when it came to I was thinking about Morez. And that was my guy, and I didn't do it. I should have. I also thought about Luke Goody as well to get more shooting, and I didn't go with that as well. But I went with a guy that I thought people would like. Oh, he's a guy who stayed and came there, and they went to the Sweet 16, and Gary Ayer played well. Right?
They did.
Was that the Sweet 16 year?
Did.
So,
yep.
But yeah, it wasn't there's a couple do-overs I'd like to do again. But the other guys, who was out there still that you're like, man, I can't believe they didn't get selected. Maybe if Matt did a better job, he would have been selected.
If there was one guy I left off, and I don't feel bad, I don't regret my roster, but I would have picked up Kylan Boswell. I think that kid showed me. Kylan Boswell he's kind of close to what Felice is to me. That kid got tough down the stretch, and I know people are thinking, you look at all the teams, players, Jacob Grandison, all those guys that's been out there. But I'm telling you, Kylan Boswell, after that Duke game, he manned up, and he's becoming one of my favorite players.
I think if we do this thing next summer, maybe he's probably drafted. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes. I mean, a lot of people don't think so, but if you talk to the right people, because he's young. He's like 20,
no,
21.
I'm just saying he's drafted in our draft.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not saying in the NBA. I'm just saying in general. Like, I think another year at Illinois, and if he follows that up with a good year and they do some different things, I think he can get his name into the consideration a little more. What other names did I have on here? Mike, is there somebody that you missed out that you're surprised?
Well, I was going to look at, again, depending on what I needed, I was looking at threes. I would have done Plummer and just let him just dive bomb. And, again, I felt like with Frazier – Yakachonis and Feliz along with Ivasic, I didn't feel like I needed to.
I'll tell you both this, and you can get mad at me, and it's twice as long of the era, but there's the Iowa list is way better than the Illinois list. It's twice as long.
About?
The Iowa draft that I did.
It's long.
It's twice as long of an era. Player-wise,
yeah,
100%. Iowa's players, but it's twice as long. You don't agree? There were 9 or 10 first-team All-Big Ten guys in the Iowa draft.
Okay, I love you, man, and I'm not even trying to be funny. But if you're going to sit here and try to tell me and all these people listening to this podcast that there are players out there better than Illinois' roster, you are losing your man card right now, baby. You can't.
It's 15 years.
I don't care if it's 94. The quality of players. Look at the quality of players. The only guy that you could possibly have that I'm going to tell you that's even kind of comparable will be Luka and Kofi. Everybody else, you don't have a chance. What are you going to do? No, I love Wieskamp. What are you going to tell me he's better than Terrence Shannon? I don't think so.
Wieskamp was
the
like
older
10.
Murray's good.
Wieskamp was like 10.
I'm just saying. I just threw a name out there.
Like Jared Utoff, Aaron White,
good player,
Peter Jock, all first team, all Big Ten. Like that's like you talk to who did you talk about? There was Marcus Domask. He's the 1-2. Mm-hmm. Marcus Domask was the 5th player taken. He would have been 11 in the Iowa draft. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, he eats up some of those guys because he's not just longer. He's got the. I'm just saying, Marcus Domask would eat up a ton of those Iowa guys because he's both physical and has the ability to shoot. A lot of the Iowa guys are swizzle sticks. You know, they can shoot, but they can't rebound or play defense.
Like Keegan Murray would have struggled with.
Murray would be one who I think he's really good.
Aaron White.
I'll tell you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I've only seen that kid. I've seen that kid be stopped by one team. He either stopped him. You know what? Mike, help me with this. I think Marcus Domask in 1 year, the first game he played, he was there 1 year. He was 1 rebound and 1 assist away from a triple-double in the NCAA tournament game. He was only stopped by one team, that was UConn. Matt, if he was struggling, he did it himself. He went up against Wisconsin, Michigan State. There was nobody can guard him. You think about it, 1 year. You mentioned guys that were at Iowa for 3 and 4 years were all Big Ten. Marcus did this in 1 stinking year, and the bottom line is, Mike's right. You couldn't guard him because he was so strong, he was smart, and he could shoot. He wasn't a great three-point shooter, but you had to honor him. I just don't think people understand, and maybe some people don't give the kid credit. Illinois doesn't go to a final way to win a Big Ten title championship without that kid. He was special.
No, I like Marcus Domask, and I'm not even saying this in a negative way, because after 15 years of Brad Underwood, I think the Illini list probably dominates Fran's. I'm just saying Fran was 15 years is 15 years. It's a long time. We're going back to like the Dev Marbles in that draft. Like if you got to go do that through Illinois, go back 15 years through Illinois is what I'm saying.
I'll take the top 6 of this of Underwood's era versus the top 6 of Fran's and feel very comfortable.
Okay, so it'd be Luka versus Kofi. Who would you take? Okay. And if you say what? You'd say Luka.
No,
I'll take Kofi because we saw Kofi when he was younger. Kofi. The thing is Kofi. I mean, the thing that's weird about Kofi is if it wasn't for dumbass people being around him,
you just like Luka won the National Player of the Year twice.
Yeah, and Kofi got hosed one. I mean, I'm sorry, but that guy's. I have no problem taking Kofi with him.
Well, of course, you have an Illini sign behind you.
No, because it doesn't matter. Because you know why? Was Kofi a 2-time first-team All-American? Yes. It's not like he was top liver. He was an All-American. I know. So, but you can't. So I know, but so you can't say we're being homers.
I mean, Kofi. Look, Kofi got bad. He had bad people around him because he could have played 5 years with that COVID thing. And he could have been a 4-time All-American and set every record in the NCAA for rebounding, but the people around him were so stupid that they told him to leave. Walk away from $3 million a year at Illinois so that you can make $400 a year in Korea.
Yeah, we're not being homers. I'm just telling you, he was a two-time All-American, Matt. It's not like he was chopped liver.
I didn't say he was chopped liver. Obviously, he's fantastic. He's the number 1 pick of this draft. Luka Garza was National Player of the Year. He's the all-time leading scorer and rebounder in Iowa history. Like he dominated that era.
Kofi would be both of those.
That's the only one I might get. Okay, Terrence Shannon or Keegan Murray would be the next one. I feel like Kedric should be on with me.
Listen.
Well, Shannon set a record for the most points scored ever in an Illinois season, and he missed 6 games because of a spurious legal claim. I mean, it's pretty good. He could have put that record so far out.
Was that a single season scoring record without even missing those? Wow. I probably oh boy, I can't. That's like,
and here's why. Matt, let me help you out. If that stuff wouldn't have happened to him, he would have been a lottery pick possibly.
I agree with that. So
and he would have been second in the. Nobody was going to beat Edey for the Player of the Year, so he wasn't going to win that. But he would have finished second. And if you would have added another, he would have went up to over 800 points that season. Close to 900.
One year, yes.
No, okay. Yep. I'm just going to ramble off the other ones. You're going to all say Illinois for the other ones, but just for the viewers.
No, we're not.
Okay, Io DeSumo and Aaron White.
Who would you pick? You tell us.
I would say Io, but I picked him number 1 in the Illinois one.
Okay.
I love Aaron White. And he kind of did the same thing at Iowa. He was part of that first wave with Fran that actually changed the culture and started winning games and got to the NCAA tournament, won an NCAA tournament game. Very similar players. Very similar. But I would go the first 2. Keegan Murray was amazing. That year at Iowa,
Keegan Murray was unreal. I don't think Illinois has anybody at that position. He did. And it's a good matchup there because Shannon and Keegan, it's a fantastic. I would call that a draw. I would go Luka. I would go draw. I would go Io. Coleman Hawkins, which is probably my bad, probably helps my case here, versus Jared Udoff. And I think Jared Udoff would win that one.
I would agree with that.
Marcus Domask would be – I'm trying to go back to the draft to make sure I don't mess this up. I think it's Marcus Domask and Dev Marble. Dev Marble. And for me, do you want me to answer it?
By all means.
I feel like I'm getting scolded by my dad now.
No, you're not.
I can't say anything bad about Marcus Domask right now. You just gave me the whole.
Because okay, listen. I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna go 50-50 with Kofi and Luka. That's it. You're not getting anything else because I'm sorry,
Thank you for giving me the National Player of the Year. I appreciate that. And the school's all-time leading scorer.
And
rebounder.
Does that really? Okay,
Like,
I got to be good, man. I'm not 25 anymore.
Come on.
No, listen. No, man, listen. You know damn well Illinois basketball is rich in basketball history.
Yes.
I'm not saying Iowa's not been great. And I'll tell you what, I kind of like Luka a little bit. I really do.
He was just on the show. The last segment, he was just on the show.
Yes, and I think
he's a classy guy. I mean, there's no doubt there. I mean,
I'm trying to figure out where along the line Kofi is better than Luke. Kofi did one thing. He rebounded and dunked the basketball. He couldn't shoot, couldn't make a free throw,
more than that.
And didn't do anything after he left Illinois. Did nothing.
We said that.
Luka re-changed his body, re-changed his entire game, and has actually got an NBA contract. He's the same guy going in. He's getting the same amount of minutes as Terrence Shannon is right now, or was.
I understand that. And
It's
I'm
gonna
not
make you mad
blind.
too.
No, it's not because
it depends where you're talking. Are we talking college? Are we talking pro? I mean, like I said,
I'm just trying to find. I'm trying to find one place.
You can give him. You could give him Garza because he was there longer. I mean, Kofi. If Kofi would have stayed, he would have done the same thing. I'm just trying to find one.
Like I said, it's
unfortunate for Kofi. He had such bad people around him. I mean, thankfully, Luka's got a fantastic dad. Who, I mean, if Luka's dad was Kofi's dad, he would have stayed 5 years. Probably would have learned how to shoot a jump shot.
And broke
unfortunately,
records. Just like Luka, he would have broke records. But we can't say if because he made the choice to leave. That's on Kofi.
I'm trying to find one area. Yeah. I'm trying to find one box that Kofi checks over Luka.
Strength.
Well, he's better rebounder.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, but Luka still grabbed a ton of them.
But that's not.
Yeah.
He's
a better dunker. He's a better dunker.
No, you asked the question.
And he also was a better rim protector, although neither of them were particularly good at protecting the rim.
Yeah, Luka Garza was a better college basketball player than Kofi Coburn.
Probably by a little bit. But like I said, if Kofi exited, that's what kills him. I think the biggest difference between the two programs is defense has always been optional for Fran. So he's got a bunch of guys who don't play hard defense, and they don't particularly seem to care in big games.
About defense.
Mike has been
defense.
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
Their offense is. I mean, he's the best offensive coach in the Big Ten.
It was funny because we were doing the draft with Tom, and he's like, "You have no rim protector. Your defense isn't very good." I'm like, "It's the Fran McCaffery era."
They never were.
What am I like trying to? Am I trying to draft a all defensive team? I just like the whole, and it's not bashing Kofi. Luka Garza is a better college basketball player than Kofi Coburn. He just was.
Okay.
And then I gave it a tie with Keegan Murray.
That's not
Murray's Murray. I have more of. Don't you think in college he was more of a power forward and Shannon was more of a small forward? Because I'll be honest with you, Illinois would have a hard time with Keegan Murray because they don't really have a great power forward during that era. And I'm not certain who's got the athleticism in the history of Iowa to guard. Roy Marble.
But these guys aren't playing against each other. I'm just saying if you could have one of these guys on your team, which one would you take in a draft?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There was a coach, and I can't. If I remember, I will. When you tweet this out, I will put it out there. There was a coach, and it wasn't a high school coach, that made a comment that they were in Iowa City watching that game when Illinois played Iowa in Iowa City, Terrence Shannon senior year. The coach made the comment, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I forget who it was. Said that's the best player he'd ever seen playing Carver Hawkeye Arena in 5, 6, 7 years.
I'll tell you this:
Terrence Shannon was good, man.
I was at that game. He got up and down the floor different. It was, and like I'm trying to think of who it was. Who was the Shannon that played for Michigan State?
Oh yes,
you know who I'm talking about?
the guy that could jump out of the gym.
Yes.
Yes, I remember who that was.
And I'm
Yes,
not comparing them as players. I'm just saying I remember being a young kid, covering Iowa basketball for the first time, and Michigan State was just different getting up and on the floor. They were just different getting to the rim and all that. And I'm sitting baseline, and I'm like, this is just, it's different. And that's what I remember with Terrence Shannon. It's just different how quickly he went from defense to offense at the other end. There's nothing against any of these guys. I just love the spirited debate about it. And all I go back to. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I just think, like I said, it's hard. It's going to be hard for Illinois fans just because they look at they play a little better defense now. Last year, it's hard to argue that because Illinois' defense wasn't particularly good last year, but as bad as it was last year, it was still better than Iowa's. I mean, that's really, and that was one of the worst defensive years Illinois had in a while.
Oh yeah, no, Iowa didn't. But and we just had Luka on, and Luka talked about how Fran gave players the freedom and the ability to do what they wanted to do offensively, and I completely agree.
And he was the best offensive coach in the Big Ten for that 15-year period. I don't know anybody who would even argue that.
No, 100%. So, anyways, that got sidebarred on an Iowa versus Illinois thing, which means we got to add Tom Kakert. We need to add Tom Kakert to the fun in this one because I can get a 4-box up here and it'd be a lot of fun. But I don't agree with the Luka and Kofi thing. And I know he's the number one pick and I get all that kind of stuff, but Luka dominated college basketball. But I can remember, were they at the same time? They were, weren't they?
Yes,
I think
remember
Kofi
the game
was
where
wasn't he a year or two younger than Luka though? So I mean, Kofi had to deal with Luka, and then Luka left, and then he got even worse because he had to deal with Edey. So and Edey, I mean, as good as Luka was, I still have never seen anything like Edey. You were there. You watched him live, Matt. Yeah. I had one. There was a game that I went up for that Myers Leonard came back for. Well, Myers Leonard looks like Superman now. I bumped into Myers Leonard, and I'm like, well, that's about the biggest guy I've ever seen. Then I bumped into Kofi. I'm like, well, that guy's even bigger. And then I literally almost bumped into Edey, and I'm like, he made Kofi look like a dwarf. I mean, you know, there was definitely, you know, Kofi definitely had suffered from having to play against two supermen. There's no doubt. And I think he got kind of hosed out of, I thought his junior year when they gave Shibwe of Kentucky the player, that should have been Kofi's, because Kofi did more for his team than Shibwe ever did, and he didn't have nearly the number of high school All-Americans on his team that Oscar did.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to go through the team.
Just so your listeners know. I'm sorry.
What's that, Ked? Go ahead.
I want your listeners to understand. You asked the question. I don't think Mike and I answered it. What Luka did was better. He is a better shooter. Without a doubt, I will not sit here
significantly.
Scorer.
Shooter. I said shooter.
Well, no, because Kofi could dunk. He didn't have a low post game.
Okay. Listen. You are selling yourself short because I'm going to tell you why. That kid got better. Kofi was a dunker when he first got there. I know you're not going to go back. I don't want to plug Big Ten Network, but if you got opportunities to go back, Kofi's last year, he was shooting left-hand hooks, jump hooks. Tom Izzo made the comment, that's the worst thing that ever could have happened to the rest of the Big Ten because he didn't just dunk. He had post moves. That was what he was, when he came into the league, that's what he was good at. He was never a shooter. But Luka is a way better shooter.
Who had more better post moves, Luka or Kofi? Post moves. I'm not going to answer that because you think.
I think probably Luka overall had better post moves. There's no doubt about that.
So I'm saying he's like Luka's not just a better shooter. He's a better 3-point shooter. He's a better shooter in general. He's a better free throw shooter. He's a better at post moves. The only thing Kofi could do that was better was dunk and play defense. He played better defense at the rim.
He was the better rebounder. Okay,
yes, by a little bit. Not bad, but he definitely gets the advantage. Luka could rebound, obviously, but yeah, no, Luka.
He'll be the guy. If you want to get out of jail free Monopoly pass, we'll give you Luka. But you are not getting Terrence Shannon from me, from the Murray boys. Marcus, and I tell you what, Marcus Domask, you know what I'm going to do this summer? I'm going to go to some of these AAU events. I'm really going to do this. I'm going to just throw out to some. I know I'll be able to talk to Coach Matt Painter. He'll respond to me. Tom Izzo will respond to me.
Here's an interesting.
I'm going to ask them
Yeah.
who would they rather have of those names you mentioned.
Do that.
Well, here's an interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just
really
compare
am.
let's compare their junior years. So Kofi as a junior was 20.9 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. He shot 593 from the field and 655 from the free throw line. Luka as a senior was 24.3. Excuse me, as a junior, he was 23.9. He was 9.8 in rebounds, 54% from the field, and 65 from the free throw line. So much better free throw shooter.
What was he from
But
three?
ironically, from the three, Luka shot 35. So that's a good,
Kofi
solid
shot.
number. And
Yeah.
Kofi did not attempt
Yeah.
one, so we didn't have to worry about that.
That's
So
true.
your overall
He would've-
field goal
He would have stayed like Morez would have stayed if they would have let him shoot threes.
Yeah, exactly. But the ironic thing is if you would have told me that Kofi shot 13%, or let's see, 13% better his junior year than Luka did, I would have said you're crazy, but he did.
But you know why? Because he's got better post move. Luka's field goal percentage went down because he was shooting jump shots. Kofi was always
Right,
around
I
the
agree.
basket.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
But I'm just saying, there's in the paint, Kofi was pretty damn effective, and I guess you could say a man's got to know his limitations.
Oh, it's
So
it's the same way as a local guy we have here, Ethan Happ, where I would go to practice and I'd watch Ethan. Like I would literally went up to Wisconsin's media day and I watched Ethan make like 10 threes in a row. And I'm like, hey, are you going to shoot more threes? And he's like, and I'd ask him, I'd say, hey, when you're playing like Wisconsin Whitewater or something like that to start the season, why don't you knock down a couple threes? And he would say to me, I always think that, and then I can eat inside. And it's hard not to go get a meal inside. You know what I mean? It's hard not to go get buckets when you can get buckets inside. Well,
and Kofi was the same way.
Yeah. Why would you even take a jump shot when you can go eat inside? Again, nothing. But like, and then I know he didn't play his senior year, but Luka's best year was his senior year.
Yeah.
He averaged 0.2 more a game.
Which is amazing.
He actually had
23 points a
less-
game for 2 straight years.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he was at 24.1, so he didn't improve that much his senior year. And then his 3-point percentage went up, so he didn't have to. He made more from outside, which was important for his NBA hopes. His rebounding went down to 8.7. So he had a really good senior year. There's no doubt. Like I said, I think one of the things where God blesses people in different ways. But the one thing that Luka had was fantastic, at least from what I remember watching the specials and stuff. He had fantastic parents, and unfortunately, Kofi didn't have that type of guidance in his life. It's like I said, he could have made so much more money at Illinois versus what happened. And as fans, we were because he would have broke the NCAA record for rebounds if he'd have taken the COVID year. And so sad that he didn't take the senior year because he had people telling him you'll make it in the NBA, and literally everyone else, Underwood, the Illinois staff, NBA people,
Who
saying
told him
don't
he
do
was
this.
gonna?
The people around him wanted money, man, and that's what it's about.
His people around him were all about the dollars that he
Yeah,
that
but
they
he would
thought
have made
he could
more at
get them.
Illinois.
That's what they told him, and it's sad because Kofi is such a nice human being.
Yeah.
And he listened to people that he trusted.
And my whole thing is I'm not bashing Kofi. Like I'm not. I think he was a fantastic basketball player. I just think Luka had a bigger impact on the game than they both had an immense impact on the basketball game.
What Kofi did that I don't even know that what Kofi did though is before he got there, Illinois, their win percentage popped up. He got them going into the tournament. They failed and got upset by Loyola. Of course, the year before when they were really, really playing well, COVID happened. But he turned that team around. He had to have Io. There's no such thing as a team that you don't have more than one guy. But when they had Kofi in the middle, every single game was contested. because he fouled guys out and he got rebounds. You had to adjust for him. Like, for example, when teams played, they didn't adjust for Io first. They're, how do we stop Kofi from getting 30? Because if we don't put guys in the lane, he is going to, as you said, feast. And so if you were to ask any coach in the Big Ten, who do you game plan for? As great as Io was, they're game planning for Kofi.
Yeah. No, I get you. Hey, again, I can't do that. I want to find out what they say. I might get Jess Settles on the show later this week or next week, because I think he'd have a really I know he's a former Iowa player, I get that, but I love what he does on the Big Ten Network and stuff, and I think he'd give a.
Get Steve Bardo on. Bardo will tend to argue.
You know who you should
Illinois.
get. You if you got Steve Bardo and Jess Sells would be great, but I'm gonna tell you who you should really get. Raphael Davis from Big Ten Network would be neutral. I'm telling you, he would be really, really neutral. He will remember the history of the players. He's an underrated guy for the Big Ten Network. And if you want me to message him and ask him, because you could go over the same list and say, hey, what do you think and compare lists? Well, I'm going to tell you, he would be really
and if you're looking at 4 years versus 3, the answer is going to have to be Luka. I mean, you're going to say, well, you averaged, you got this many
comparing
points.
Stats. I just think it's because you can't do that with like we just did Keegan and or even like Marcus Domask. It's hard to do that with 1 year for Marcus compared to, if Keegan played 3 or 2 or whatever it was. So, 3. But you know what I mean? I'm just thinking impact on the game. I thought Luka had a more impact on the basketball game. But
it would be hard, I'll be honest with you. With Edey, Kofi, and Luka, they were the prime focus of their team from the game planning on the other side. I'm not certain how much of a difference there was, other than Edey was unstoppable. But I think during those eras, you had to plan for those 3 gentlemen no matter what when you were playing the other team, because they were so disruptive because of their size and their Garza, the thing that used to get me about him is there were times you thought, does he even jump, yet somehow he gets those rebounds.
Yeah.
It's like, how the hell did he do that? It's like, did he get off the ground?
He had the old man game.
He was always there.
He was the old guy, had the old man games back to the basket. Yeah. And he's done a fantastic. He was by the senior year. What was his percentage senior year? It was got to be close to, I bet you said 30.
It was 44%.
From 3.
Yeah, 44% from 3.
And what he did, Lucas shot 44% from 3 in his senior year. And what he did is he realized that he couldn't go and be, and Ethan Happ's coming on the show here soon too, and love Ethan Happ, and was a great player at Wisconsin, but he's doing great, making a bunch of money and playing overseas and all that kind of stuff. But Lucas said, if I have to play in the NBA, I got to be able to shoot it and change my body and to be able to defend the pick roll and play defense. He couldn't do that. Yeah. And exactly. you guys will go back and watch the first segment of the show today. Like, he's cut now. Like, he's doing the interview and he's like, he used to be like me, chubby. Actually, he wasn't that bad. But anyways, so, hey, I want to redo the teams real fast. We'll put them on social media. I just wrote them down, and guys, congratulations, I got 3rd. But here they are. So it's mainly Ken and Mike.
Hang on. Here, Mike, let me ask you a question before you read them off. Yeah. Who do you think has a better team between Mike and I?
All right, I'm going to read them off, and then I'll tell you. Terrence Shannon, Marcus Domask, excuse me, Will Riley, Dane Danger, Andre Curbelo, and Laron Black. I wish I got to see more of Laron Black. Does that make sense? I think everybody does.
He was a beast, man.
I get it. Yeah. I completely forgot about him, but he was fantastic. Kofi, KJ, Trent, Tommy, Andres, and Merez. And just to throw mine out there, so to give Ken another laugh real quick, Io, Coleman Hawkins, Georgie, DeMonte, Pods, which I'll tell you right now was the best pick of the draft, and Quincy Guerriere. Between you two. Are you talking about tonight? Between you two. Hold on, let me look.
You are not going to find one Illinois fan in the world who's going to agree with that. Not even a negative one. A fan that's not even been born yet will agree with that.
What, that Pods wasn't the best pick of the draft?
Yes.
I got him at 15. I got him 15 overall. He's the best player on this team. He's the best player today.
So far, give Terrence next year.
Okay.
And then I think.
So I'll give you him this year.
Are you talking NBA? Are you talking NBA?
I'm just saying, if we went and took these teams and went and played basketball right now and rolled the ball out, I have the best player. Right?
No.
He can't play D, though. Terrence can.
Okay. Now I'm going to
do I have best player or the third best player?
Hang on. Now it's time for me to be arrogant. I have over 21,000 people follow me on Twitter. I'm going to flat out put it on Twitter. I'm going to do a poll and ask people, if you had to pick one player on your team, Illinois, to be the best player between Terrence Shannon
today,
and Pods, it won't even be close.
Today.
I'll tell you what.
So hold on. If a general manager in the NBA had one spot in a roster and they could take Terrence Shannon or Pods, who would they take?
Are you really asking me this for real?
One's a starter in the NBA. One is a starting guard in the NBA. The other one doesn't play for Minnesota. How is it close?
Why doesn't he play? Because he plays. Okay, Matt. Terrence Shannon, to me, I'm answering the question. To me, Terrence Shannon is on a bad team for him. That's not a good team for him. Anywhere else he would play. I should say anywhere else.
It's not a negative thing.
On a team, no, yes. It's not. But Matt, there's no way. I don't care if he starts. You are not going to convince me. No one is going to convince me because he starts. And I'll be honest with you, I feel bad for saying this. I don't know how in the hell he's in the NBA. I really don't.
Who, Potts?
I don't. Yes.
He's good. He's not bad. He's good.
So is Terrence Shannon.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. It's a good argument. I took Pods at 15.
You did, but
and he's arguably talent-wise,
he's the best value in the draft. There's no doubt.
Yes, that's what I'll say. That I'll say that. Okay, between you two, I have 4 boys downstairs right now that I wish I loved half as much as Ked loves Terrence Shannon. I do. I love my kids.
Listen. You can take all the shots you want, but I'm going to prove to you today my worth because I guarantee. I'll tell you what, you're a gambling man, and I know you like to gamble. You want to put some money up?
For what? What's the bet?
Yeah. I'm telling you, when I put that out there, and I'll tag you in it, I'm going to tell you, it won't even be close.
No, but you have to word it correctly. You have to. Can I word it?
I'll tell you what. You word it to me.
Okay, let him word it.
It's got to be. And yes,
I have to agree with it.
Okay, that's true.
No, you word it.
Ked, you're going to toss it out to 20-some thousand Illinois fans.
Paz went to Illinois.
It's like going to an evangelical concert.
Paz was a one and done, just like he predicted.
He went to Illinois, so it's not an Illinois bias. Put it out there. You let me see it, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Of course they're going to say Terrence Shannon. It's like going to an evangelical concert and saying, who's better, Jesus or Satan? Everybody's going to say Jesus. They're going to say Terrence Shannon.
Why?
Because he's beloved by the Illinois fan base. One stayed and did well. One left.
Because he didn't play because he wasn't good enough. Don't say because he's in the NBA, he was right or wrong. I'll tell you what. You let me see the question. I'm going to put it out there, and
again,
I will hashtag
I want to love my kids half as much as you love Terrence Shannon. No, I'm kidding. I love that. That was my favorite line. I like that one. I was pretty proud of myself. All right, let me pick real fast between okay, so Terrence Shannon, Kofi, that's a wash. Mike, I love you. Mike, I love you, man. You're a great. I think Ked's got you.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think late in the draft, I think he did better. I like the black pick.
We're gonna shoot. We're gonna get the ball outside, inside, all over the place. Tomislav, he'll either because who's gonna you put Tomislav and Kofi together. Who's guarding Tomislav out there?
Who's Tomislav going to guard? I'm sorry.
We'll pack it back. Make you shoot because I'm terrified of Domask and Terrence Shannon.
LeVon Black beyond that. Yeah. All right, we need to put this out on social media. I can't wait to see this.
I know.
And Mike, you should put them on message board, Mike.
This is the show because this thing is the longest segment in the history of my show, and I love every second of it. So, no, it was fantastic. And I can tag Iowa people on it as well because of the Iowa conversation. So this was, guys, I had so much fun doing it with Tommy that right away I was like, I'm going to get this thing done with Mike and Ked too because I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I will give the edge to Ked, but we'll put them up on social media, and then I'll even put mine out there too so everybody can laugh and make fun of me. I tried to get you on Coleman Hawkins. It didn't work. I do like my Pods pick. I wish I would have picked Merez late and just stayed heel and then tried to go back to Quincy Guerriere. I should have just gone Merez, stayed heel. Nobody likes him anyways. Everybody thinks I'm an Iowa fan, so I might as well just stick with I should have done Adam Miller. I should have done Sky Clark. I should have just gone straight transfer. But boys, as always, I appreciate it. Check out all of Ked's stuff. The Illini guys, fantastic. Mike does a great job. You guys both do a great job with the Illini guys as well. Check all that kind of stuff up. We're gonna reconvene in a couple weeks. We'll get you reach out to people. We'll try to work on maybe getting I think it'd be fun to do Jess and Stephen Bardo. Because I think they'd have a great time with it. So we'll work on all that kind of stuff, fellas. I appreciate you making my Monday show as fun as I've had on a Monday in a long, long time. Appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Take care, sir.
Bye, Mike. Appreciate you guys. That is Mike Cagley and Ked Prince arguing with me about college hoops, which I love. And I got school when it came to the draft, but I stick with the Pods thing as well. So we got more to get to. It's a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. We got more on OTA right after this.
Hey guys, this is former Hawkeye Jake Gervais inviting you to the 5th annual Rally for Reed football camp. Go, run. This year's 5th annual Rally for Reed football camp will take place on Friday, June 27th at Jack and Pat Bush Stadium at Davenport Assumption High School. Come learn the game of football from several familiar faces. 1, 2, 3, go, Tucker! All while honoring the life and legacy of Reed Gleason and also raising money for the Rally for Reed Foundation and the continued fight against pediatric cancer. There will also be a spirit camp the same day hosted at St. Ambrose University. To sign up or get involved, check out rallyforreed.org and make a donation or sign up for the camp. Thanks.
Welcome back to Off the Air on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. That was a lot of fun. Mike, a great guy. Ked, fantastic, longtime friend. Let me know. Give us your feedback. I probably got school on the draft, but several interesting debates for Ked Prince, Mike Cagley, and myself. We want to thank Luka Garza for joining us today. Awesome stuff from Luka about his season with the Timberwolves and already at work getting ready for next year. His progression and his development in the NBA has been really, really cool to watch. So also his stuff on Fran McCaffery and Iowa's new head coach, Ben McCollum. A lot of good stuff. So if you missed Luka Garza, go check him out right now, either at X or on our podcast platforms or rewind here on YouTube and check it out. Also, I want to remind everyone that the Guy Randazzo golf outing is officially this Saturday. So if you are interested, we now have 2 teams available. A couple dropped out just recently, so 2 teams left. Go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com. I promise you'll have a blast. June 14th, Highland Springs Golf Course in Rock Island. Come join us and have a bunch of fun. We want to thank everyone for watching today's show. Just a lot of stuff developing this morning with the Iowa revenue sharing, college football, college sports revenue sharing that happened over the weekend. We're going to tackle that tomorrow, tracking down a few guests. Also, Joe Moreno on the show tomorrow, and Dave Heller from the Bandits will join us tomorrow as well. So another packed show coming up tomorrow on OTA. That is on Tuesday. We want to thank everyone for starting their week out with us today. And of course, we want to, as always, thank our sponsors for allowing us to do this each and every day. Have a great Monday, Quad Cities. We'll see you back here for a Tuesday edition tomorrow.